Nick, Nick, I am too young for you.
Aren't you in your 30 yourself?
No, I'm too young for you. And also, aren't you into like 19-year-olds or something? Sorry, that was too far. Sorry. Sorry. I was clip farming.
You didn't even ask. I did. I said go to the profile so I can see. Senna, you're closer to me than you are to him. In age.
Jason.
That's a truth.
Jason. You have to get back in this house somehow. How are you gonna do that?
Bro, you can stay here, bro.
Listen, after all the he's gonna go on your hinge and start DMing 19-year-old girls, okay? So I wouldn't say that I was you.
Yo, Senna, you gotta stop.
I have to stop. But you say I would date Finn in a heartbeat and I'm the wrong one?
Bro, that's a compliment. You'd be so lucky.
Yo, Senna, he's talking
What do you
crazy.
mean by that?
Bro, you'd be so lucky. And listen, I would say someone likes it. Listen, babe, you'd be so lucky.
Oh, goodbye. Goodbye forever. Never speaking to him again. Nick is cut off permanently. Yeah, that was a hang up of death. Yeah, don't even. Not anything. Block him on Twitter right quick.
Sure. Senna, I'm so sorry. I was just joking. I'm a little bit silly now because I'm kind of hungry. I've been live all day. I didn't mean any of it.
Didn't you eat earlier?
Not a lot. I'm sorry. It was a joke, and please don't be mad at me.
What happened between you and Jason that you just started talking crazy? Because if you don't stop, you're gonna lose me too.
Okay. Listen, Senna.
Oh, now do you feel bad?
You just know that you listen. You're one of my favorite people. I care about you deeply, and I'm just looking for just a nice, best friend relationship. That's all. I just used you because, you're one of my closest friends. That's all. And you're black. Yeah, I don't want to lose you too. I do.
I care about you too, but I am changing your name in my phone to NG+3.
Huh? Yeah.
I never got the other one. Wait a second.
My mom's calling me.
Goodbye.
Okay, bud.
I'm changing the name of my phone. NG+3. Edit contacts. NMP. Now I'm gonna look up emergency therapist. Chat. Chamber friends. Ego will be called crisis hotlines for mental health. Thoughts? I'm thinking any of these phone numbers. You know what I mean? After whatever the fuck that was. Does the motherfucker really say, Babe? Do we block him? You know what I should do? I should call Pachi. Pachi? I'll explain to you. You should release that quit longer. FYI. GG's. It's good. GG's. I DM'd it, so I actually told Dr. to come over, so that's great. You know, maybe I'll just let her, you know, tell her side of things, hanging out. Oh, it's catchy. Said it again? Stop. Clip right fucking now. Clip right now. Good. Good. What did he ask? Would he date someone who's raped? I'm calling my dad.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm live really fast. I have an update on something. And he did not let Nick into the family. Just make that very clear.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, he has multiple days in a row, but especially doubled down and said how, you know, he would love to date someone his race, like Cinna. Yeah, so we have to cut him out of the family. I'm sorry. He cannot be a stepbrother.
This is awful.
Remember when he trauma dumped on you? Remember that?
Hey, the time. her so you can win my daughter.
And you know what his nickname is, right? You know his nickname is NG+3, so I really think we just steer clear of the whole thing.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Really think we just steer. Well, yeah, let's just steer clear of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Personally, like I just think, we just really just avoid that. Sound good? So I think as a unanimous family meeting, we all agree. All in favor to not have Nick and Christmas. Say aye, aye.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to say. No, but come on, man, you put me in a position. Okay, I like Nick though. I feel like it, Nick, but having to throw a wrench in it.
NG is what you should call it from now on, moving forward. Just.
I mean, I can't knock the man. You are attractive. You're an attractive young man. You know what I'm saying? You look just like your daddy.
I don't look just like you.
I mean, minus the beard and all that. But all the good features fell right off of my face onto yours. Mm,
So you think I get my good looks from you?
of course. That's why your mom was attracted to me. Have you seen the stories online?
Yeah. Speaking of that, by the way, how does my chat know that my mother tried to sleep with my uncle before I knew that story?
Listen. Let's just clarify, because clearly you didn't watch the updates. I had to clarify that there was never a situation like that. It was the whole point of that thing wasn't about your uncle at all. It was the fact that, like, all of these other people, including your uncle, had a crush on her. And I thought she was beautiful, but, I wasn't trying to compete with everybody and do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of chilled. And then out of everybody, your uncle was the only one that gave her his phone number. So they never hung out, none of that stuff. I don't even know if they ever talked on the phone. She just happened to call the house. You don't like me, do you? And I was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, God, you never talked to me. I was like, it's nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, she just kept me on the phone and just pursued me from there. And all that. And that's crazy. But they don't want me. The thing that made your mom want me was the fact that I was the only guy there.
Why are you the way that you are?
What do you mean? What do you mean? No, here's the why do you ask me the question you ask me, knowing that you're going to get the type of responses that you get? You know me. I'm dead. Yes.
Okay. Jason, you're screwing me up.
Yeah.
How? I didn't make you say that.
What's up, Connor? Guys, someone give Connor Eats Pants a free sub.
Dude, are you attracted to Cinna?
No, someone like Cinna. Not Cinna.
So weird.
How is that weird? How is that weird? Someone like
Cinna.
Yeah, like
Watch the full clip. There is no way there's more.
like someone like Cinna.
Yeah, like yeah, because like someone who's like kind like Cinna.
So you want someone like Cinna.
Funny like Cinna. Yeah, pretty like Cinna. You know, can dance like Cinna, but just not her. She has all the qualities that I'm looking for, but not her because she's just my friend. Is that what?
Bro, she's telling her dad.
Yeah, hello?
Kill yourself.
What the fuck?
Can she say that?
In GTA. They're saying base.
Which like your lord? What to say?
Bro, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you, man.
As a friend, you know what I'm saying? As a friend, man. Yeah, as a friend, dude.
Jeez. Bro, Chad, I need to get to one that I hate her art. That's it. I've changed direction. Maybe this time I write the tweet longer. You're about to see a Cinna X catchy collab. In one long Google document. Oh, Nick is calling. Oh, sorry. We can't let him on our plans. Yo.
Senna, you're not writing a foot longer.
No, I would never do that. Of course not.
Senna, I will do anything you want. Please do not post on Twitter.
No, I would never do. I'm serious. I would never do that. That's crazy. I'm like not even that petty. No, I'm serious.
Senna, please don't let the people on Twitter know I exist. I will do anything you want.
Of course not. Yeah,
Anything.
no, I would never do that. Of course. By the way, how long is Kachi in town?
What'd you say?
How long is Kachi in town?
For a while. Why? Senna, look at me. I will do whatever you want. Just finish the foot longer. Don't do it. Nicholas, it's over.
Hello.
Looking for someone that is like you, but not like you. You know what I mean? Like opposite personality, but not you. Yes. Because he sees you like this. He sees you as his
Sit up, please. Sit up. I was gonna say, I'll give you $450,000. There you go.
So you're buying my silence on your wrong
Wait, so he
Gentle, get it engulfs all. power of data.
What is this?
Bitch ass nigga, don't ever come at me like that ever again. Y'all fucking like. Why? Bitch ass nigga, don't ever come at me like that ever again. Y'all fucking like.
Wait. Over my blue eyes white dragon. You're actually trolling. Gee fucking G's. It's fine. It's fine. Sorry, please.
You.
Okay, let's run around that, okay?
Bane. Summon. Do you still not see it?
Twitch stock have an its consequences. Big surprise. Guys, it's a great surprise that this got posted, get this, on my Reddit of all places. Can you believe that? There's a video critical of women and it was posted on my Reddit. Here we go.
Years ago, I made a video about how if you don't like seeing lewd things online, simply close your eyes and walk away.
That's
but what
my
happens
perspective.
when you do close your eyes and walk away, but no matter where you walk away to, you bump right back into it. Whether it's on Twitter, TikTok, or even Twitch. Dasani order. I'm gonna get canceled for this. All these years, and this is what's gonna get me canceled. I don't want to hear it from any water snobs, okay? Where are my fellow Dasani heads at? But anyway, do you like...
I only drink tap water, and I don't like drinking plain water from a bottle because I feel like the people that detonate glass of tap water and glass makes a mess of
red hair? A lot of Twitch thoughts that I'm going to tell me about. I have red hair, the fellow knows this is how. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about the Twitch thought epidemic and its consequences, as well as OnlyFans creator and monetization of something. I promise this won't make sense. Maybe all my videos sort of messy brain thoughts. I mean, I guess it's one way you make sure I'm not plagiarizing, but when I start to sound smart and make sense, that's a red flag. Figured out how to use chat GPT. So for those of you who are unaware, Twitch is a video game streaming website, or at least it used to be. People also play
Yeah. How's this streamer doing on Twitch nowadays? I remember this guy was really big into StarCraft. Does he still play StarCraft? Yeah, whatever happened with that? Anyway, Twitch isn't really a gaming website. It's primarily a gaming website. But you see, you don't have to do games. So, like, you might have a website where, like, the CEOs of the gaming website, like, one of the content isn't like just chatting. Like, it's clearly not gaming website. Now, for, like, a period of time, this is what's kind of weird about, like, people that have, like, this perspective. It's like, Twitch has been around for, like, what, 12, 13 years? Like, here just on TV. And the amount of time where Twitch actually requires you to be playing video games is tiny. It's like 3 years, 3-4 years. So it's not even the majority of the time that Twitch existed that these videos. But like people always go back and look at that. Yeah, but like whenever it used to be a gaming platform, it used to not be a gaming platform as well. Because the person who created Justin TV created it to be IRL streaming. So it's like, I don't think that you can make an argument to tradition whenever the actual original tradition is not gaming in the first place. I don't think it's a strong argument.
Streamers help video games and interact with their viewers. But basically, in the past few years, it has been invaded by women. Not only naked women. Now, you might be asking, shoot, what is wrong with
A
that?
ripple away.
Be graphic. You Twitch, a website for kids, for users, and commonly used by young
counting 16 and 24. I think this is disingenuous. I don't think it is. And are we assuming that the 41% are in between 16 and 17? Because the majority of 16 to 24 is an adult male that can go and see a strip club. So I think it's a little bit disingenuous to include, like people that are 23 whenever you're looking at a statistic trying to make an argument that it's hurting kids. Even if you assume that the same amount of people are consuming content, like, it's divided evenly. Like, this 41% is like, you're looking at 10% or something like that. Not counting 14 to 16%. Yeah, of course, right? And, like, who knows who's watching that, who has any idea. I mean, I think that one big factor, and this is something that a lot of people who have this conversation, I think that they don't really acknowledge this, and I think that it's evidence that the conversation is actually not a peaceful conversation. Is that if you don't, I'm going to get something up in the Pornhub most search terms. So if you look right over here at Pornhub, they release a lot of like infographics every single year, naturally, right? And so the infographic here that they released, this is for 2018. If you look at all the most popular games that exist on Pornhub, these are all games that are for children. Fortnite is for children. The Chun-Li isn't her model from Street Fighter 6. It's her model from Fortnite. Like, look at Overwatch. Overwatch is kind of fun, right? But Overwatch is also like the fucking gold standard for video game play. You have Minecraft, Pokemon. Look at this. So, like, these are some of the most popular games. Like, you have Sonic. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Like, who's looking up Sonic the Hedgehog? Probably kids. And so, I think the truth is that you're always going to be able to access, like, not safe for work content. And I think that the focus that people put on Twitch as sort of the responsibility to prevent kids from seeing, I don't think it's fair. And I also don't think that people want to solve this problem. Because if people wanted to solve this problem, the way you do it is with ID verification. But if you have ID verification, you also use internet anonymity. So do you care about this problem? Yeah. Do you care about it enough to lose your anonymity? No, I don't. I think parents should exercise better discretion in taking care of their kids. So that's what I think. I think that the amount of kids who are watching Twitch is a pretty small. And also, a lot of the content for, I would say, like, young adults, like 13-year-olds, I think that a lot of that's on the game. Like, if you go watch, like, one of these kids' streams, you want to see a lot of 13-year-olds, go to one of their streams. Like, kids are watching people like Kate and Lawrence, watching people like for sure. But the majority of the W community is on other platforms as well. That's the kind of content that they're really watching. Like, whenever I was 14, I was watching bum fights. Who else was doing the same thing? Like, let's be honest. You know, boys watch way worse, I know. I think it's cool. Yeah, exactly, right? So, like, I feel like this is very, like, I don't think this is a principle, like, I don't at all. And also, like, there's a lot of websites, like, for example, on Twitter, and on a lot of other social media websites, you're able to make an account on that website if you are if you're 13. So, like, any argument that, like, and I think that there's, like, actual porn on Twitter, where there's not really actual, like, hardcore porn on Twitch, right? Maybe there's a porn person who's bringing up the porn now. But for the most part, there's not really any of them. Now, she's also here. Let me actually just show this.
Advertise for users.
Yeah, so this right here. This is a statement that's, this is taken from the Google App Store. That could be the App Store as well. The Apple App Store is not the actual terms of service to use the website. I don't really care about what the number is that's advertised on an App Store. An App Store is a third party. So, well, let me explain why it's important. Because it can say 12 and up. But you actually can't make an account if you're 12. You can't. Like, there's a literal law that prevents companies from having people under 12, sorry, under 13. Yeah, and guys, don't say that because you will get actually banned. If you say that you're, like, really young or something like that. And so, my point of this is that I feel like all social media has this problem, and also, nobody actually wants to solve it. I personally I don't think any children, I don't think anybody, I'm going to be very clear about this. I don't think anybody under the age of 18 should have any social media in any capacity unless it's a curated site that's made explicitly for children, like YouTube kids. I don't think that a 15-year-old should be able to have an Instagram at all. For any reason. Period. Like, that's what I think. So I don't agree with this. Those are the reasons why. I don't agree that this is a problem. No, I don't. I actually agree that it's a problem, but for a different reason. So, like, the problem that I see is that being on social media exposes children to predators. And it also does so in a way that makes predators able to be predators without any level of accountability. And a great example that I can use for this is that if you look at TikTok lives, you'll see a lot of girls that are dancing. I don't know how common this is, but it's like a very big epidemic. And these are girls of extremely questionable age, right? And you have these guys that are in the chat who are just watching and trying to pay them and DM them and stuff. It's horrible. It's really disgusting. So that's what the real harm, like, that's the real harm. Like, seeing a girl with, like, a black bar with a bikini, that's not really a big deal. Like, who gives a fuck about this? I'm talking about, like, guys that are actually trying to meet underage girls in real life. And that's why I think the kids shouldn't be on social media. This is just like some fucking, like, this isn't even a footnote. It's not even part of the conversation. Whataboutism? Well, no, it's not whataboutism. What I'm saying is that my perspective on this is actually not informed at all by today's thoughts. It's something that I think is a lot bigger. I think Microsoft needs to be under the category of social media. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't want to get into like specifics. I mean, I'm just talking about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Like, I don't know what things are. Why doesn't Twitch allow full use it? Probably for advertisers. That's really the main reason. They don't do it for advertisers. And the truth is that, like, for example, if advertisers were okay with full nudity, then they would be okay with it. It's the same reason why there's a lot of nudity, as far as I know. I remember growing up, I hear this a lot, is that, sorry, it's probably 10 minutes and the video's a minute. It's a minute long. In like Europe, there's a lot more nudity and sexual content on television. I heard this a lot growing up. Those of you guys that are in Europe, is that true? Yeah, this is true, right? Okay, so why isn't it in the U.S.? Well, I think the reason is because it's a cultural reason, and it's because advertisers in this culture are responding to the people in the culture, and the people in the culture don't like it. That's the reason, right? Puritans? Yeah, exactly. And so I bet, like, with a lot of companies that are based out of Saudi Arabia, they are probably not advertising on places even like Twitch. They're probably advertising on places that are extremely curated because they're marketing to an audience of people who wants that experience. So I think it's really driven by advertisers. And I want to say one more thing, and then I can keep going to the video. I think being driven by advertisers is incredibly horrible. I think the idea that what we see and don't see on the internet is driven by a for-profit corporation that is amoral by nature is incredibly unhealthy and very dangerous. I'm sorry, but I don't want to have a for-profit corporation that uses slave labor and, maybe worked with the Nazis in the 40s. I don't want to have them be dictating what I can and can't see and what morality should be on the internet. I think it's disgusting. And so whenever people make an accusation or like they make an appeal like, oh, think of the advertisers. Oh, well, the advertisers will leave and that's it. As if this is a good thing because they're going to get their way. I disagree. I think the idea that advertisers have a say in what is effectively controlled free speech on the internet indirectly by funding it is incredibly dangerous, and it's been massively harmful for people talking on the internet and online discourse. It's been tremendously harmful. I think the best example of that is COVID recently. So that's what I think.
And predominantly used by young boys. And the question on everyone's mind is, are these evil Jezebels preying on today's youth? Or are they simply the product of capitalism? Clever, sneaky, with taking
I don't see why it can't be both. Obviously, women are trying to prey on men. Clearly, that's obviously what the goal is. They're trying to attract an audience of men who wants them and give them money. That's clearly what's happening. Now, would they do this in a socialist country? Probably, yeah. There's girls that just like the attention. Some girls do it for free. I always couldn't believe it whenever girls would post pictures of their boobs on the internet for free. Like, wow. Okay, right. This is awesome. To finding a $5 bill.
in order to self-discipline online. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before we get into this, let's quickly get into today's sponsor. When you're browsing the internet, you may not know your personal information. See,
No.
all of personal information,
Yeah.
our full legal name, phone number, and even our address.
Cool.
It's gotten so bad that every 14 seconds, someone becomes the victim of identity theft. And people who are active on social media, you guys, are more likely to have their data stolen. So I'm excited to tell you guys about today's sponsor, Orb. Orb is a company that is dedicated to helping your private information private. They identify data brokers that are exposing your information and automatically submit opt-out requests on your behalf, which is
I don't know why you should opt out of this. You should just opt into it. Like, how is this illegal?
to robocalls, junk mail, and telemarketing lists. Data brokers are usually required to remove your info if you ask.
Yeah.
They make it super hard to do so, and use the Aura. Aura also sends you your email and passwords to ensure you your information isn't involved in any data breaches. Aura also offers other things to you and your family, like financial fraud protection, VPN, password manager, parental controls, and even protection from malware. It's super easy to set up, and gives you all the tools you need in one place for an affordable price. So if you're concerned about your personal information being out there, check out Aura.com/QAnon, or click the link in the description down below to get a 2-week free trial and see if your personal information has been leaked on. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video, and as always, thank you to the viewer for skipping the ad. Get back to the video. So about 2 weeks ago, this tweet showed up on my Twitter feed. What's going on with Twitch? It shows a streamer wearing no shirt, swinging her fun bags around, slightly off camera, every time she's out of the room. So it was strictly research purposes. I went to Twitch to see if this was real. Surely enough it was, and it wasn't just one streamer, but many. It was multiple. It was the entire thing. And then we went to click on one of the streamers.
Right about this, but it's disingenuous, and it's Twitch's fault that she's being disingenuous about it. So the problem really is that if you actually look at the live channels that are active, you'll see that almost none of them are content like that. Like, this is just some guy, yeah, this is kind of this, but he's just got some girl on camera. I feel like that's not really the content of the stream. If you scroll down and you're looking for a stream like this, and I'm searching by viewership, not I'm searching for content like this, but I'm saying, like, of all the streams that are on the platform, these are all of the streams, and where is the problematic content? Yeah, you're logged in with your cookies. So, let me explain why that's not good. You're making a great point if you're talking about recommended, but I'm not looking at recommended. I'm looking at a sorting function that is listing all streams that exist from highest to lowest. So the cookies I would have no effect on it. But here's what the problem is. And I know you guys are bringing this up, and you're right. And this is the point, this is where you're right too. Is that if I look at, and they've actually fixed this. For a very long time, we have to make a video, and there is one of them, right? There's this girl, she does it all. And so anyway, the problem really is that, and I'm on incognito, but sometimes in incognito, you still get cookies. How about I go and use it on Microsoft Edge? Is that what you said? And so I'll go ahead and I'll just open that up, and we'll try to open it on there, because sometimes there will be cookies that will overlap. Give me 1 second, we'll go ahead and pull this out, just so we can get a better idea. As you can see, I'm on a fresh new browser, and I don't think it's that well. And you can see, obviously, like, there's some recommended channels. It seems sort of a miracle. My channel is on the recommended list, and we're going to look at recommended for you, and then we're going to go live channels. So it seems like the problem where a lot of the different content that is sexual in nature being recommended to users is not as prevalent. It still exists. Like, you've got this girl right here, and you've got this one right here. But in a general sense, it's not as prevalent as it used to be, which is a good thing. And so I think Twitch has been trying to, and I think they've even said this explicitly, that they have been trying to remove these streams from recommended. Because the truth is that I could be an underage user, and I think that it is a very fair thing to say that Twitch is not a website where porn is its primary focus, and Twitch should not be promoting porn. It should not be recommending pornographic content. And I understand that this is not pornographic content, but everybody who's watching a stream is watching it because they want to fuck this girl. You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. They're using it for porn. And so my point is that whenever you have a system that's recommending these videos and these streamers, and they're doing something that's sexual, that is a big problem. And that's the point that I'm making, is that I think that she's overstating it, and she's doing it in a way that I think is dishonest. but is it really dishonest whenever, if you open it up in incognito, and this was the case for quite a while, and you just got spammed with these videos? No, she's not. So it's like it's misleading and it's not misleading at the same time.
It just took no verification needed, no login required, nothing. I mean, back in that
To be fair, there's no verification needed to access this porn website either. Other than clicking yes, I am 18.
Not everyone, we'll get to that, but most people agreed this was crossing the line. Because of all the outrage, Twitch changed the rules, not to fix the website. They changed the rules in order to save the Twitch stocks. Twitch actually doubled down and made it so twerking, pole dancing, and artistic nudity was artistic nudity. Right. So obviously, Twitch is run by
Well, the reality is, like, I don't want to see anybody get banned for looking at a sculpture of Michelangelo. But whenever, you know, all of the good, you know, the good thinking, you know, fucking soccer moms that came up with the idea of, you know, artistic unity, their artistic unity, they weren't thinking of the Rule 34 website, okay, guys? They weren't thinking of two girls, one cup. They're thinking about, like, you know, some Renaissance painting with a woman with her boob out. It was not really well thought out. It's art, bro? Then why is every form of artistic unity on Twitch painting their boob out? I just think that's crazy.
This way, artistic nudity. So like,
When sometimes I'm not. I think it's fine. I don't care. Like, I would be okay if Twitch just allowed porn on the website. I don't give a fuck because I just don't want to watch it. I think that people should just be able to opt out. Like, I don't care personally. But I also don't like to be. I don't like to have my intelligence insulted. As if I'm not seeing what's really funny. It's very obvious that these girls that are doing body things are doing it because it shows their boobs. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing it for the artistic concept. They're not doing it in order to create something special. They're doing it to create porn. The people that are watching it are jerking off. They're not being inspired by it. Well, they're not being inspired to be artistic because of it. That's just the truth. And again, I'm not against this. But at the same time, I also don't want to hold that seeing what's in plain sight.
eyes onto your people like going to spin on camera with
Oh, there's the other one.
Yeah, fine because it's already white Twitter. So the VTubers, animated YouTubers, took advantage of this new artistic
They sure did.
and started streaming their avatars with black dudes only for them to get banned while the Twitch stocks remain. Clearly, they're all discriminating. A few days later, Twitch
And this has happened with other girls too. Like, for example, Bae got suspended because of I'm not even kidding, like a certain type of bikini that her character model had on, while at the same time, real girls were wearing the exact same type of bikinis. Like, there's really clearly no logic in this. And this is something that I've criticized Twitch for before, is that Twitch actually has no logic or principle behind what it's doing. The only logic or principle that Twitch has is responding to community backlash. So, like, there's no real, like, guiding light of why one thing is against the rule or one thing isn't against the rule. They're just making it up as they go, and if people get mad about it, then they change it. And that's a very bad thing to have. Knee-jerk reaction? Yeah, exactly.
banned Twitch stocks for a day.
If you can't do the time, don't fucking
This has been going on for a very long time. From uncut streams, ASMR, ear licking. Twitch has just become
I would call it ear licking.
a cesspool. In the past few years, following a pattern I have been seeing online, a huge increase of OnlyFans models and everywhere. It isn't just my observation, it's a fact. There are many studies that came out that show that pornography and addiction increased significantly during the pandemic, especially for young people, has increased since. And the amount of people making content on OnlyFans has skyrocketed.
It's gotten so high. I saw a statistic that said 3% of young women in America have tried OnlyFans. Because OnlyFans released its statistics of the amount of people that are on the platform, and then somebody looked at how many young women are on OnlyFans. And I think about, bro, that's a higher drop rate than Invincible. What? Oh my god!
Talking about houses absolutely did something different. You still have to go out of your way to see this.
You don't want that.
And now it's everywhere. Now, compare this to how I talked about this issue a few years ago, where I would make fun of people for complaining about the difference is now everywhere is the strip club. It's to the point where you
Well, I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. I think the problem is that people aren't able to filter it out, and the websites don't do a good job of curating this content to avoid people that are trying to push it in front of you. Like, for example, like a lot of the girls that, and I think this is a very extreme example, and I don't want people to like really think that I believe this, but I'm just using it as a thought exercise. So imagine if a person, like, you know, you're talking about something, you're at a Magic the Gathering store, and then somebody comes in and they start doing what these girls do on social media. Or a guy comes in and starts doing what these girls do on social media. Well, they'd be arrested for, public indecency, for exposing themselves, for all kinds of things. Like, they would be arrested, and this would be a crime. And so I just want to say that the way that these girls insert themselves into completely obvious things by trying to push their point, if you were to apply the same standards in real life, they would be in jail. Rightfully so. Now, real life isn't the internet, but I think it's a good thought exercise if you really think about what this is really like. Is this a good thing or not? I'm not saying they should be banned for doing it, but let's be honest, if it was real life, they'd be banned from public. They'd be in jail.
Accounts on Twitter are being used to slightly advertise OnlyFans.
This is so fucking annoying. I actually think that, like, should Twitter ban these people? Like, probably not. But goddamn, like, I really wish sometimes they did. Because to be fair, guys, they are violating the law by not disclosing that it's an image. And so, what was always my rule for what should cause somebody to get banned from social media? If they are actively using social media to break the law, and this qualifies.
And you can't even block the
A lot of them now
accounts that show up as fans on Twitter. Great website you're on.
Yeah, I think this is very fair. I'm glad that she's bringing this up, because I actually really appreciate this in the video, because she's actually talking about the fact that Twitter has this exact same problem. Because, like, you talk about, I feel like it's unfair. People criticize Twitter all the time, but every other social media platform has the same issue. I think TikTok is worse, personally.
By the way, and anyone who points this out is called a prude or a conservative. If you have an issue with naked women making soft porn on a website full of children, you're the problem.
I don't think that children existing on a website means that every other adult has to censor their speech and their expression because children are present. These are adult spaces where children can insert themselves into, and at a certain point, the parent should be responsible for what the kid does. I don't like this idea that I want to censor and hinder the entire internet because some parents aren't able to take responsibility for their kids. I find this to be outrageous, and I'm not going to censor myself on a public platform because some people don't want to take care of their kids. It's outrageous. It's so. It's like what they're saying. It's like we want to take what we want to use it. We want to not see about our children, and we also want you to censor yourself and not be able to talk about certain things because those things we don't want our kids to see. So it's like it's not enough that they can do whatever they want, but they have to make you do what they won't do themselves. It's so absolutely narcissistic, as you say. So absolutely not.
Overall well-being of society affect you, do you? Most Americans seem to agree
I
that
guess the overall well-being of society is not necessarily affected by kids going to social media websites and seeing this content, but I do think the overall well-being of society is affected by these kids going to social media websites. I think that social media is a negative force for children. It doesn't matter if they're seeing like that's just straight up. Like I think it's bad anyway.
but there are a lot of people mad at me and
Courage
others
alone
for pointing out the obvious. So I'm going to respond to some of those critiques
Okay, here we go.
which disagree on this subject,
Thank God.
and then we're going to talk a little more deeply about all of this. Because I feel like it's a
Censoring
little
everyone else for
deeper
the
than the
kids?
Twitch
Yeah, no
thoughts.
way.
The Twitch thoughts are just a symptom of a disease.
They are.
Why doesn't Twitch just make a new 18-plus site? They do this on Twitch because the market is already saturated on actual cam sites. They won't stand out. They can find a larger, younger audience on Twitch. What I'm trying to say is, these should be banned. Okay, so my tweet was a little harsh, but
Okay, so I'll wait for her to respond to some of the criticism, but I think that again, like if you're McDonald's, you don't want to advertise McDonald's by giving out free hamburgers. These girls do softcore porn and they do non-nude sexual content, so they can get people to buy OnlyFans for the sexual content. If they do the sexual content on the platform, it removes the need for people to pay them for it. So they're using it like it functions as a gateway into it.
am I wrong? Blaming these women for what Twitch allows and morally grandstanding that you think you're better than them. So first of all, I am better than them. So are you. So is everyone who doesn't make it on Twitch. And second of all, I know
I don't really think that anybody's better or not. I don't really think about that. Like, I try to avoid the mindset that I'm better than anybody else because of something I do or don't do. Now, there's like some crazy exceptions, but I don't think that it's enough that somebody does, like, is sitting in a bikini on a website. Like, is this really something that I'm going to think that I'm better than this person? I don't really think so.
calling them whores does nothing. I did it because it was funny. These are grown-ass women toying with the TOS. They know what they're doing is wrong. They know they're walking a fine line. That's why they're here on Twitch and not on the hundreds of adult websites that exist. If a parent, they're so deep.
And also, like, I think that calling somebody, like, it's like calling somebody a prostitute that's selling sex. Like, yeah, that's clearly what they're doing. It's not a bad, like people say streamers are like street performers or like beggars. And yeah, they're kind of right. Like, I don't like existing in a world of platitudes and euphemisms to hide reality. Of course that's what they're doing. That's fine.
Dangerous to you, maybe you should lock yourself in the cage. Cry more, little bro, and tell your fellow bros to stop thinking with their dicks. Hello, fellow bros, to stop thinking with their...
There's a lot of girls that, and this is actually not girls, this is a common strategy, where people take your argument and then they turn it into a radical extreme that is clearly not what you believe. It's ad absurdum argument, right? It's like they're turning your argument into something that's absurd, and that way they're arguing against that instead of what you actually think. It's very stupid.
Hello, fellow bros. Stop thinking with your... Brace yourselves. The incels about to lose their minds and act like women are ruining Twitch. Lol at the men in these comments admitting they are not attracted to women. I'm sorry you don't like hot women. Maybe work on the internalized misogyny. Nah.
Well, I will address. I think that that commenter is right. That these girls are not ruining Twitch. I think that that's just a factually true statement, and I think that really, like, you look at the amount of people that are on the platform, you look at the amount of people that are consuming this content, it's really such a small percentage, it's not even worth considering. So it's a super, super, super tiny. I don't think they're ruining Twitch either.
Sorry. If you don't like huge oiled up milkers bouncing around on a Twitch stream, I'm just gonna assume you hate women.
I think she's kind of memeing, right?
Straight men even like women.
Oh, you're not sexualizing women? You're not just booting to every woman
Yeah.
you see? What, hate women? Are you gay? How did they manage to reverse engineer being sexist into not knowing awooga, every time they see a woman? Incredible. Huge fan.
I don't think that's necessarily, I don't think that's necessarily judgment. I think it's about the sexist part is whenever you are sexualizing a person against their consent or without their consent. That's why it's okay for girls to take pictures of themselves for OnlyFans, but it's not okay for somebody to do unscripted videos in public. It's about consent. It's about a person having autonomy over their own body and being able to control how people perceive them to an extent. I feel like that's obvious, isn't it? Well, I don't know. Yeah. Girls sexualize muscular men. Yeah, but like if you watch the clip of girl tempting Henry Cavill inappropriately, everybody would say it's bad. Or saying things about Henry Cavill or like Jason Momoa. Like everybody agrees that's bad. Like obviously, like yeah, there's some like really stupid like girls on Twitter that think it's good. Same as like some guys think it's good if you like whistle at girls like a catcall them. Like that's bad too. I think that like a person being sexualized against their consent is clearly the problem. I don't think that there was ever an argument that women shouldn't be sexualized. It's more an argument that women in public spaces that aren't trying to sexualize themselves being sexualized, not only again, usually without the consent, but I'm mainly focusing on against their consent. That's a bad thing. There's never an argument that women shouldn't be able to control their own sexualization of themselves.
These mammoth milkers, but I do worry about the dynamic and weirdness of women who are essentially sex workers interacting with and asking for donations from chat on a site largely used by young men. It feels like a race to the bottom.
It is.
When Bosch and I, the people who talk about Pokemon, are saying things have gotten weird, I think that's proof that things have
I'll be
gotten
waiting for the
weird.
Power World
As a
video.
sex worker, I agree. I just like the blurring result in all ages platforms like Twitch and TikTok.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It's the band kids. And this is only, like, if I were to make, like, let's say, I just as a visualization, this part right here is the issue we're talking about in terms of the reasons. And all of the rest of this is something completely different. Like, this problem is like a tiny, fucking minuscule issue. It's not even the size of the smallest slice whenever you get a pizza that's not cut the right way. It is tiny. That's subjective. I don't know. I mean, like, is it really, though, right? Because I think that, like, having kids be subjected to or exposed to actual predators online that are trying to, like, molest them in real life, I mean, bro, like, how's that not worse than a girl with, like, a bikini on with a black bar over it? Like, that's, like, come on, is that really subjective, man? What is this? What are we talking about? But it's on a scale of bad. It is. It is on a scale of bad. And that's why I think the solution is to just remove the actual... That's why the solution is to remove the symptom... Sorry, the disease, which is the kids. Kind of a funny way to say it. The disease, which is the kids, and not just the symptom, which is the sexual content.
I also don't know what men expected when it's so successful either. I don't know, I guess men expected women not to get borderline naked on a website occupied with children, maybe. The bar is really not that high. There is a market for literally everything. That doesn't make literally everything exclusive. If you give your kid unrestricted access to the internet, that's a you problem. Parents have to take some level of responsibility over their child's online content consumption. So I agree with this. Of course, I agree with this. Parents should absolutely be monitoring what their kids are looking at online. The issue is, if Twitch is advertised, has a website for them. It is advertised for users 12 and up, so parents will naturally assume
So is
that...
Twitter. I mean, so is every other social media website. Or I think like any person, like, if you exercise even a small amount of thought, you would be able to clearly distinguish that there are a lot of types of content, not just sexual content, that are all that kind of stuff. That doesn't make it okay. Well, it does, actually, because what I'm saying is that it doesn't make it okay, but it doesn't make it special either. And what I'm saying is that if you have a website, and this website has content that's not good for kids, but the website also has advertisement towards kids, are they advertising that specific content towards kids? Like, for example, YouTube Kids and YouTube advertises towards kids, and there is sexual content on YouTube. Can you see kind of what my point is here? And I would also say that watching, like, traumatic big events, like, you know, like a car blowing up with people in it, that's something that I would want kids to watch on Twitter. 17 plus. No, it's not. You can make anything on Twitter if you're 13 years old. That's just, but you can't expect a parent to know about Twitch and YouTube and Twitter and it's bigger. So, your logic is that the smaller websites have to tolerate more than the larger websites because parents are stupid? I don't agree with that. I think that's backwards. It's the parents' job. And I also think it's I think, again, like, these websites shouldn't be allowed to let kids on. Like, and just to expand on that a little bit more. So, do you know how, like, for example, whenever you're on Twitter, and Elon did this for a while, and if you open something up whenever you log into Twitter, it wouldn't show you. It would only show you a login for Twitter instead. I think that all social media websites should, kids will always find a way around it. I agree with you. I think the kids will find a way around it. But I don't think that that's an argument to not take a reasonable precaution to hold the companies to a slightly bigger standard. I think that this is a problem, basically, like, it's a society problem. With, like, the fact that girls feel like they need to do this. I think it's not a problem, but the fact that people can make money and live properly and live lives that are fulfilling, so they're doing OnlyFans for money. I think it's also a problem with the companies that are exposing kids to pornographic content for money. And I also think it's a government problem. And more important than any of those, it's a parent's problem. The parents are also more responsible than anybody else. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility, it's your kid. So I don't think that you should really approach this problem and say that any one of those things are the actual cause of it, because they are. So whenever I'm seeing this, it's not necessarily that she's totally wrong, but I think it's like the fucking story of a blind man and an elephant. Like, you're just looking at one part of the animal and saying, oh, well, I know what the whole animal is. No. I think that this is like a small issue, and even if you solve this part of the issue, the other parts remain, and they will still be a problem. Why not chip away at it one problem at a time? Because I don't think it will work. That's the reason why I don't think it'll work. For sake, after I met social media is something part of our life. There's nothing to discuss. It's not part of our reality. Why do we not exclude people under 18 from something that's a big part of life? I mean, can't you make that argument with driving? And can't you make that argument with alcohol too? I mean, I don't really understand that. I don't understand with that. I think that those two things are a tremendous, that they play a tremendous role in our culture.
The website like this. I think that's a pretty reasonable assumption to make. Like, I don't sit and watch a computer constantly with a 9-year-old who decides to go girls gone wild. It's
well, that's because Nick Jr. is called Nick Jr. It's made for kids. It's explicitly for kids. Like, that's totally different.
So that is not going to happen. Yes, it should be monitored when you online, but this isn't like a kid going on the website. This is a kid going on a website.
I also don't, like, what if, like, ratings for video games? Like, how do you guys feel about that? Because, like, you have, obviously, like, we all know that going online is, like, almost voiding of the warranty of a rating for a video game. And, like, a lot of video games say, the rating for this game does not include what you experience. And so, like, what's the logic in, like, there's, for example, like, kids who watch and Grand Theft Auto is marketed as for adults and not for kids. But why is that somehow okay? And again, it doesn't, right? If you watch any Fox News segment in 2000, it absolutely doesn't. How is that really that much different? I don't really think it's a big difference. I'm sorry, I really don't. Like, I think that there's a difference. It exists, but it's not large enough where I think one is okay and the other one isn't. I think it's a situation where they're either both bad or they're both good. Or they're good, but they won't permissible.
Denying.
Website that is advertised for them, that is made for them. So this is in big part the website's problem. A lot of people were saying that the solution to this would be making Twitch Plus, which I agree makes perfect sense to do, but the thing is, Twitch don't make it easy. Advertisers. Lots of advertisers advertise on websites that are Twitch Plus. It's too risky, it's bad for their brand. It's on the owner of Twitch more money, of course. Twitter is made 18 plus.
Is Twitch really made for kids, though? No, Twitch isn't made for kids, and I don't think that Twitch has ever been a safe space for kids. And I think that people who get so fit to Twitch, thinking that it's a safe space for kids because there's video game content, is doing a disservice to their kids.
And apparently, Twitch is going bankrupt. No wonder they want to keep the Twitch thoughts on the platform.
I made a whole video about that. I can refer back to that, but my end resolution on that is that Twitch is massively beneficial for Amazon, and there's no way that Amazon is going to give it.
Ears.
So,
Feign my loyalty to God this path on the bear's order.
Embarrassingly
Your
recently,
destiny
Elon
is bleak.
Every social media platform is 13 plus.
In its
Because
grip,
that's what's required
we
by law.
share the mark.
Because none of these companies actually care about exposing
Guanyin
kids to
temple
porn.
now
They care
lies
about
in
following the law.
cinders. Did the elder
beg
soul
of you, either
endure?
make Twitter 18 plus or get rid of the
Greed
I
of a
personally think the
foster
former is the better
stem
idea
of
because I'm
suffering.
tired of seeing unsolicited opinions of minors on the internet, and I just don't get tired of seeing images of strange
Yes, that is the actual fine print that nobody talks about. I don't want to hear about a 14-year-old's
The three
opinion on
bells.
Palestine.
Have you seen them all? Do you too desire that which they ceaselessly hold dear?
The bells. 3 bells were set in the mountains since the Black Wind Choir's return, yet no one is allowed to go near them. Maybe the bells have something to do with the temples burning. His words sound like truth to me, little monkey. Stay sharp and keep a lookout.
Lang.